Welcome to the Teach Joyfully podcast, where we talk about all things elementary teaching with some mom stuff thrown in. I'm Lisa Burns, a teacher success coach, veteran elementary teacher, and mom of 5. I'll be your host. Thanks for joining me today. I have a love-hate relationship with to-do lists. Seriously. While I love a good list, I'm picky about them. I don't just do any old list. I only do manageable, realistic lists. It took me a lot of years to figure that out, but yes, those actually exist and we can control them even when it's that back-to-school monster list. Whether you're on summer break yet or not, that back-to-school list can already be out of control. We start making a list even before the school year's over sometimes. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's a place to house all the things that we don't want to forget about. However, that back-to-school list can become a real monster. In fact, it can disturb our peace all summer as it weighs heavily in the back of our mind while we're trying to rest and recharge. So I'd like to show you how it is that you can gain some peace so you can rest and recharge this summer. Your teacher self-care this summer is essential. It is every summer, but this year more than ever. And you need to make sure that you don't have a million things on your mind for back to school in order for you to fully rest. So for today, I'm going to give you just one more task to do before you check out for the summer. I know. You could not possibly be more done. I get it. I have been there right along with you this year. However, this task is not difficult. It won't take much time, and it's super essential in order for you to not be the overwhelmed teacher at back to school time. You might hate me now, but I promise you will thank me when back to school time rolls around. So what is this task? It's to make a plan now for what you need to do to be ready for back to school next year. Yes, it's a list of sorts, but it's a targeted list. It has dates and specifics on it so that you can put each item on your calendar as a promise to yourself to get it done. It will revolutionize your back-to-school experience. Now, as many of you know, I have a back-to-school planning guide. It is basically a checklist of all kinds of things that need to get done. I've taken all the tasks, put them in categories like arranging your classroom, supplies, technology, calendars and schedules, planning and teaching, class management, all the essentials. It's great to have. And if you don't have a copy already, you can grab a free copy. It's linked in the show notes. So don't worry, you can get that in a minute. But a list like that, if you don't have a larger plan for it, can be kind of list overwhelm, right? Do you ever get a to-do list that's just so long and you take one look at it and think, I don't even know where to start? Well, that's how this list can feel sometimes too. Are all of the bits and parts essential? Yes, that's why I broke it into sections, because sometimes it's easy to take one group and just deal with a group at a time. So what I'm asking you to do is to make yourself your own planning guide. You can start with my planning guide and simply use that and make a few edits on it if you need to, or you can create your own. It doesn't matter, but you're going to actually need to list out all the tasks that need to get done at the beginning before school starts. Once you have all those tasks, make sure they're grouped. Group them into things where it's like with like. So any technology kinds of tasks, put them all together. Any tasks that are maybe to do with all of your supplies, put those together. Put things together that make sense together, and then you'll have broken your list down into manageable groups in a way that actually makes sense. You can put all of your classroom management stuff in another group. You can even put together a group of things that maybe you can do from home that you don't need to go into your classroom for. So obviously, there are some things you have to be in your classroom in order to do, and you may not be able to get into your classroom until closer to the start of school. But there are some things you can do at home in the weeks right before school starts, and that can make your load a little easier. Anything from creative tasks like making name tags for your students' desks, to technology tasks like organizing all of your digital files and purging old files. Setting up all of your electronic systems for your students. I even create email templates so that I'm ready to go with some basic kinds of emails that I send all the time. Then they're ready to go. It's copy, paste, and edit and then I can just simply send the email without spending hours agonizing over the wording because most of it's already done. I have a set. It's linked in the show notes if you want to take a peek. Once you have your list together, I'm going to ask you to calendar everything. Yep, I'm going to ask you to put everything on the calendar with a date and time that you're going to do it. Granted, sometimes things come up in life and we have to make adjustments. However, it's just like that dentist appointment. If you don't get the dentist appointment on the calendar early, that time's going to get filled up, and then you're going to wind up cramming it all into a short amount of time and feeling frazzled and frustrated by the time school starts. That's not what you want, and it's certainly not what I want for you. I want you to be able to start school calm, cool, and collected and being that organized teacher that everyone envies. So take each group of items and give them a date and a time. You're going to pull your calendar out, look towards the end of your summer, and start planning how far out will you have to start doing tasks. How do you like to prep for school? Do you like to do it a whole lot all at once? Or do you like to spread it out over a longer period of time and do a little here and a little there? Think about who you are and be realistic about it, and then get it all on the calendar. So here's what I mean. Let's say you're going to organize all of your teacher areas on the same day. So you're going to pick a day, decide about how long it will take you to do these tasks, and then you're going to put it on your calendar and schedule that time. And you're going to write on your calendar exactly to the letter what it is that you're planning to accomplish during that time. So if you just opened up your calendar and you pulled up a date and time 2 weeks before school starts and you wrote down organized classroom and left it at that, I'm going to tell you, do not do that to yourself. That is a recipe for disaster. You are not going to just pull up a date and time and write organized. You're going to write organize my teacher desk, my U table, and my teaching area near the front board on the carpet. Those are the things that you're going to organize. That's how specific I want you to be. You don't have to get into nitty-gritty detail, but you do have to get into detail enough to know exactly what you're hoping to accomplish. You want those 3 areas accomplished, then that's what you're writing. If you don't, when that day rolls around, I guarantee you it will be a hot mess because you will not remember what it was that you were going to accomplish, and you'll either try and do too much or not get enough done, and then you're going to be frustrated. So I'm asking you to be specific. Once everything is on the calendar, then I have one more thing I'd like you to do. And that is, I want you to schedule when you're regularly going to grade and when you're regularly going to plan. I know that on your to-do list, you've probably already scheduled time to do your first week or first 2 weeks plans for the beginning of school. And that's great. However, how are you going to proceed from there? I want you to have a date, a regular time every week that you're going to do your planning. Now, you might plan your language arts on Monday and your math on Tuesday and something else on Wednesday, and that's fine. If that's your plan, write it down and make it a reoccurring event on your calendar. If you're like me, then you stay late 1 or maybe 2 days a week and get all your planning and grading done, and then you're free the rest of the week and on your weekends. So what I'm asking you to do is decide what is going to work best for you on an ongoing basis to get all that planning and grading done, and then put it on your calendar as a reoccurring event. Yep, you're making a plan, and yes, you can adjust the plan as much as you like during the school year, but it's a reminder that you're going to proceed with a plan. You're not just going to hope it all happens, because let me tell you, if we do, it doesn't happen during school hours, and you're going to be sitting on the sofa, falling asleep watching Netflix, trying to get your planning and grading done. And that is not quality of life, my friend. You deserve better than that. So let's get it done in a way that you have already predetermined so that you will have regularly scheduled free time after school and on the weekends. And that, my friends, is how you go from to-do list to done list. You need to start with a master list, group your tasks so you can be super efficient, and calendar everything. Once you've done that, I guarantee it will just get done. Even if you move some things around, that's okay. You have a plan and you're not going to be doing it at the 11th hour. And do you know what that means? That means that after that's done, you can just go and enjoy your summer. You don't have to think about it. You don't need to worry about it, because when it rolls around on the calendar and the first task needs to get done, you're going to look at it and go, okay, now I'm ready, because you will have had a real break and you won't have had to worry about all those to-dos in the back of your brain, because you know they already have a time and a date for them. There no longer have to be things that you're worried about. So here's your marching orders. If you don't have it already, head over to the show notes and grab the Back to School Planning Guide to get you started. Then make your list or adjust that list. Group everything so that you have logical groups of tasks to accomplish at once. Then calendar everything. And then get out there and take a break. You've earned it. So that's it, my teacher friends. We're out of time and I'm out of breath. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you liked today's episode, I'd love it if you'd go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and leave a review. While you're there, hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode. Also, you can continue the conversation online with me in my Facebook group, the Teach Joyfully Podcast Community, where elementary teachers can connect, get help, and encouragement for all kinds of education and parenting topics. You can find the show notes and links to all the resources mentioned in today's episode on my website at www.hopeineducation.com/podcast. And remember, a happy teacher is a good teacher. Until next time, teach joyfully and take care of you.